parrots. They're just incredible, right? So intelligent, so social, and way more complex than people give them credit for. But, that complexity can sometimes lead to some really distressing behaviors. Today, we're going to dig into a huge problem a lot of parrot owners face. And it all might just circle back to something as simple as the food bowl.
This is such a tough question, and if you're asking it, you're not alone. It is absolutely heartbreaking to see your amazing bird chewing on its cage bars over and over, or even worse, plucking out its own feathers. You just want to understand what's going on.
Okay, so the first thing we have to get straight is this. These behaviors are not just your bird having a bad habit or trying to be difficult. Not at all. Think of them as a signal. It's your parrot's way of shouting that something is really fundamentally off in their world. So, to understand that signal, we gotta look at what a parrot is actually built to do all day long. And that brings us to something we can call the Great Foraging Gap.
Now, get a load of this number. In the wild, some parrots spend up to 70% of their day, that's most of the time they're awake, just looking for food. That's an enormous amount of brain power and physical energy, all pointed at one single vital task. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. A wild parrot has a full-time job. We're talking 4 to 6 hours of flying, climbing, and problem-solving to find a meal. A pet parrot, well, its food just shows up in a bowl. That 4 to 6 hour job gets crushed down to maybe a few minutes of just eating. And that leaves this huge, empty space in their day, a void that gets filled with boredom and, frankly, a lot of frustration.
And there's actually a scientific name for what happens next. It's called oral stereotypy. It's basically when that natural hardwired drive to chew and shred and work things with their beak, foraging stuff, has nowhere to go. So it gets redirected onto whatever's available, like their feathers or the bars of their cage. It's a coping mechanism for a brilliant mind that's been put out of a job.
But wait, it gets deeper. The problem isn't just about the boredom from getting food too easily. It's also about what's actually in the bowl. There's a kind of hidden hunger going on that's causing a whole other set of problems.
And here it is. This is one of the most important things any parrot owner needs to know. Those colorful seed mixes you see everywhere, they are not a balanced diet, period. Parrots don't have some magical nutritional wisdom. They're like little kids in a candy store. They'll just pick out the yummy, high-fat seeds and leave the rest.
And here's what that looks like in practice. A seed-heavy diet is almost always lacking in crucial stuff like vitamin A and calcium. But at the same time, it's overloaded with fat and calories that a pet bird just doesn't burn off sitting in a cage.
And these nutritional gaps, they have very real, very physical consequences. A lack of vitamin A, for instance, is directly tied to unhealthy skin and feathers. So the bird's skin gets dry and itchy, which can be the exact trigger that starts them down that road of obsessive feather plucking. You see? The poor nutrition makes them physically uncomfortable, which then fuels the destructive behavior.
So let's recap. We've got a bored mind with nothing to do and a malnourished body that doesn't feel good. But here's the beautiful part. The solution to both of these problems is totally connected. It's about feeding the whole parrot, not just filling its belly.
I mean, this quote from the research just hits the nail on the head. All that destructive chewing, the plucking, it's tied directly to that instinct, that need to forage. Once you get that, everything starts to click into place.
So the game plan is a two-part punch, and you really need to do both together. Step 1, upgrade the fuel. You've got to move away from those imbalanced seeds to a complete, scientifically formulated diet. And step 2, give your bird its jaw back. Reintroduce the act of foraging into its daily routine.
This is basically what modern, smart parrot care looks like. We're moving away from the old guesswork of just scooping seeds into a bowl and toward real nutritional precision. That means a good formulated food is your base, you balance it out with some healthy natural foods, and this is key, you turn the act of eating itself into a fun, enriching activity. Okay, so that all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like day to day? How do you put foraging into practice for your bird at home? The mission is simple, really. We want to transform feeding from this boring, passive thing into an engaging activity, something that makes them use their beak, their feet, and that amazing brain. And you can start really simple. Ditch the food bowl and try a puzzle feeder, weave some leafy greens through the bars of the cage, hide some pellets in a little box of bird-safe shredded paper. Even just using bigger pellets that they have to hold and break apart can help satisfy that need to work with their beak. The whole point is to make them think and work for it.
And here's the coolest part. Scientists have a name for this phenomenon. It's called contra-freeloading. It means that animals, parrots included, will often choose to work for their food even when the exact same food is available for free right next to it. How wild is that? It proves the work itself, the challenge, is rewarding to them. They want the job.
Now, here's a really important catch. While the idea of foraging is universal, getting the nutrition right is a science. The diet for a big macaw is totally different than for a little cockatiel. Guessing can lead you right back to those nutritional problems that cause feather plucking in the first place. That's why precision tools are so critical. Using a species-specific diet calculator, like the one in the Dietbird Guide, takes the guesswork out of it. It helps you build a plan that's perfectly tailored for your bird, ensuring you're feeding both its body and its mind correctly.
So I want you to go look at your bird's setup. The next time you go to just scoop some food into that bowl, ask yourself, is this simple dish actually making my brilliant bird bored? Am I accidentally robbing it of its most important natural job? Because at the end of the day, true nourishment for a creature this intelligent isn't just about what they swallow. It's an entire experience, one that should engage every part of who they are, their powerful beak, their clever feet, and above all else, their absolutely brilliant mind.